Ibérico, espero estén súper bien. El día de hoy tuvimos el privilegio de entrevistar a Matt Heafy, vocalista de Trivium, quienes acaban de lanzar su décimo álbum de estudio, In the Court of the Dragon. Esta entrevista la transmitió Matt a través de su canal de Twitch. Espero la disfruten mucho.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, my friend?
Hola, how are you,
Good to see
amigo?
you. Very good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm glad to see you too.
Heck yeah, thanks so much for doing this today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it too. Thanks for always supporting me.
Oh, of course. I just thought of something. Very cool. Does
Yes.
that name mean very cool? Did
No,
you just,
it's some
is it
people have
Finnish?
relating that name to very cool, and that's awesome. But the real meaning behind very cool is blood moon in Finnish.
Ah, okay, very cool. Because I was like looking, I was like, wait a second. That also seems like very cool.
But it's very cool, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I almost started laughing. I was like a dad joke, like very cool.
Uh, it is awesome, amigo. I love that joke.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like your shirt too, by the way. Thank you so much. I'm glad you finally got it.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about the
You
delay.
guys are presenting.
Oh
Guys
yeah.
watching us, get the merch.
Thank you so much. Sorry about the delay on that.
So, amigo, the metal tour of the year is finally over. How did
Yep.
it feel getting back on track and seeing your friends again?
It was amazing. Going into it, we felt really confident. Like, all right, we're still in shape. We were practicing nonstop and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but it still was the first show. Like I talked about this morning, the floor from Nightwish, that adrenaline dump, you still can't control it. Like, still that first show, like I went too hard, headbanged too hard, yelled too loud, and the next day I felt it. So you can never simulate that. The only way you can get back into like true tour shape is by playing shows all the time. But the tour, like coming out of it, was amazing. 5 to 10,000 people a night, and you've now been in the States once. I think was that once? Was that your first time?
I saw you my first headlining show in Boise,
Yeah, that was the first time you were in America, right?
in America, yes, because
Wow.
I got
Okay.
my visa 2 years ago during the pandemic. Great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. But so you've seen like that's that's kind of like the normal size metal show I'm used to.
Yeah,
So metal tour of the year doing 5 to 10,000 people nights, amazing. So it was really really good tour.
that's so cool. And yes, as I had the opportunity to listen to two of your new singles live, you recently played the Phalanx in this last show you played at Orlando. So, what was your reaction when you noticed the audience singing those new songs?
It's always amazing. It's always amazing when people know this stuff. And I'd have to say that Orlando, actually, the reaction for Dragon was the best I've ever seen it before. It's like on the Megadeth tour, we'd be playing to a lot of newer people at times. So
Mhm.
that's a really intense song to come out to. But I feel like the headlining shows, they really did really fantastic reactions to that one. So it's always great. I can't wait to play more. I mean, there's so many songs people love so much from this record. I think we really need to hit Abattoir and Damocles
Please.
and Crisis and all those, and No Way Back. I feel like those four are ones that people are really kind of letting it be known that they're their favorites.
Yeah, I think my favorites for the new record are Crisis, A Revelation, and also Shout Out of the Abattoir. I think
Awesome.
those two are so amazing.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So you released two albums during this pandemic, and by the way, thank you for that. And how did you guys prepare for this new record? Because In the Court of the Dragon released a few weeks ago, and you released What the Dead Men Say last year.
Yeah, we just secretly were making this. Like even during, I would still do my morning streams, and there'd be some days like, oh, the afternoon stream, I can't do it today because something's going on, and no one really took the bait, which was cool. It's amazing. The last three records we made actually secretly, and no one knew, and that's the way we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it where people never know what we're doing for the Trivium stuff because I'm so out there now that everyone typically always knows everything that's going on with the band. So it's nice that we can have there be some surprises and some mystery in there. Like we've managed to figure it out, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think you managed it very, very secretly because we didn't notice about this new album. And also, I like so much your campaign for the release of In the Court of the Dragon. That was your idea about this Pokemon Go stylish dynamic?
With us, we have an amazing team, so it's a very collaborative effort. Some of the things are sparked by one person, some of it's by a team. That one was actually, I'm not sure if it was Mario Rubio came up with that idea or the people around him, or I'm not exactly sure it came specifically with that one, but I thought the gamification of like unlocking little snippets of our record was really cool. So we try to always just stay ahead of the game and like
Mhm.
come up with things that either I don't think any many things will be invented, but we try to come up with something that we feel like hasn't really been done. Maybe it's been done before by someone else, but we feel like we're discovering it for ourselves.
No, and it was really worth it. I think it was like very funny to show my friends catching up that Trivium Pokemons on the street.
Yeah.
So it was really nice.
It's awesome. I love that. I love always, I mean, I just really don't like the rollout that we used to. I mean, we've done it, so I feel like I can criticize the method of, oh, we got a new record coming. You guys aren't going to believe it. Like, I feel like that's not the way to go about it. I'd rather have everything done and then have nice curated things. So that way the first thing people see is like an amazing piece of art or an amazing video or amazing piece of music or something unique. I feel like just talking about it is not enough, and it's not good enough. And we feel like our fans deserve more.
Okay, so congratulations for that, because you've been an amazing team with your bandmates. And also, I think till now, Trivium's evolution is so impressive and amazing, because with this record, I feel like you showed your authenticity and your unique style. And also, you got the perfect highlight on this album, each of you. I mean, the drums, the bass, everything was on point. And this release has elements of shotgun, ascendancy, and the long songs are back. So tell us more about how you come up with the concept for this new record.
Well, I feel bad making this sound so simple, but with this record, the big key was not overthinking it. And we just allowed the music to happen the way it happened. We didn't plan on making a record. We didn't say, hey, let's make another record. Let's make writing time. But I believe some of it started off with, there was a day on stream where I started playing this riff that ended up becoming the verse to Fall Into Your Hands. I played it. I think Fierce clipped it for me. I had Fierce clip it. I sent it to my guys. I was like, hey, check this riff out. And they all said, you know what? We've actually been coming up with some riffs as well. Maybe we should get together. And what we noticed was that we all had stuff bubbling underneath the surface for good new music. And we always prefer to capture lightning in a bottle. When new material starts to present itself, we like to grab it and then try to see where, not even try, just allow it to take shape. With this record, we didn't say, let's do this or that. Let's go here. It was just creating the music. Well, the phrase I've been using is organic improvisation. We've just been allowing the stuff to present itself to us and for us to see where it goes. And I feel that that's why the last 3 records have been particularly the best, because it's been us, and it sounds selfish, but us purely thinking of what do we want to hear? What do we want to play? We don't think at all, are people going to like this? Are people going to dislike this? It's just making exactly what makes us feel good. And I feel like when you go back to that, that's when you make the truest form of what your craft is.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing about music, like engaging with yourself first, with your art, and then a lot of people will engage with you too. So that's how the Trivium fan base that I love has been engaging with your music and with all of you all these years.
Absolutely.
So also, we all got hyped when we saw the old Trivium circle symbol on in the card of the Dragon video. Will you explain to the new Trivium followers a little bit more about the meaning behind those symbols?
Yeah, so the original circle symbol, it was created by Paul Romano, and I think it's a take off of one of the old Japanese gods. It's either Raijin or Fujin's symbol. I think it might be Raijin. If it's Raijin, it's thunder, and if it's Fujin, it's wind. But he took that and kind of created his own thing. And I forgot who brought it back first. It might have been Ryan McFall, and it might have been Ashley Heafy who brought it back. It's one of those two. It very well could have been Ryan, because Ryan has been with us since Ascendancy. Like he got into Trivium through that. He just brought that back, and then Ashley made a new version of Paul's symbol. So kind of refined it a little bit, not too much. She's like, I didn't do much, but she just, kind of made the edges a little bit crisper, and we brought it back. And I think that made people a lot of people happy, because we've always been about having the symbology, having logos, having the idea of a mascot early on. Those were things that our favorite bands did. I always loved that Maiden had Eddie, and I love that Metallica had the Metallica star and the Metallica M. And those were things that before we even got signed, we said that those were things that we knew we wanted to have in our band as well. You know
what I missed a little bit? I loved so much your death metal logo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if someone watching us right now feels the same, but you only drop like 1 or 2 designs on your merch with that logo, right?
Yeah, we did that, and then we also have that. So we did a death metal logo and a black metal logo. The black metal logo is on the Ab Initio cover, and the death metal cover is just on merch. I think.
Yeah, I was referring to the black one, to the black metal logo.
Okay, yeah, that one. I mean, we brought it up a couple times of using it for record covers, but we felt like it's almost illegible. But what's cool about that logo is it's a play on a logo that we had as a local band. I need to find it someday. There's one where like the T and the M are like axes, and it's kind of like a revamp of that. So we felt like it doesn't quite go. And obviously, with In the Court of the Dragon, it doesn't say Trivium anywhere. Dead Men, it actually does. Sin, it does not. So it's always playing with what feels right. I mean, we've done quite a few records that actually don't have our name on it at all. I'm looking at them: Dragon, Sin, Silence, Vengeance, in Waves. All don't have it at all, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's amazing about your logo, because of the evolution of each album that makes it unique.
Yeah, my favorite logo I think that we've ever had is the one right now, because
I love it too so much.
Our old logo is great, but it's not symmetrical. It's kind of difficult to lay into things. It's difficult to put on merch. It doesn't really frame correctly, but Ashley was able to finally get a way that is like a modern version of the old logo. So that's my current favorite one.
Yeah, I think mine too, besides the black metal one, because it's so cool. Because as a marketer, I can tell you that the logo you're using right now, it fits perfectly with all the publicity you want to do on merch, on everything, because
Absolutely,
it's very legible also.
Yep. Yeah. You want the logo to match. Like, I feel like if we used our old logo with this art, it could go, but we'd like to have that. I feel like balance. This is like a modernization of something classic. Yeah.
Do you think, Matt, that we're expecting a new bonus track or new videos, or are you planning to do anything special in your new hangar?
We keep all that stuff secret.
Why?
Yeah, because that. Yeah, we always do, because it always makes it a little more exciting for everyone. We like to not reveal too much of what's going on.
Oh, okay, perfect. But we were keeping an eye on your socials and everything.
Yep.
So in recent years, you've been collaborating with different artists, but do you think there's a chance to seeing someone collaborating with Trivium?
I'm not sure. We've never really had a guest. I mean, we had Jason Sukoff do like a guitar solo on Ascendancy on Crusade, a local guitar player do a solo on Ember to Inferno, but since then, it really hasn't been a thing. Like, I think there's something about, when I look across our discography, we've never really had a guest, and it almost doesn't make sense now. Like, we haven't really even had too many guests live. We've just done a couple things here and there. So I don't know if that necessarily is a Trivium thing. I mean, Metallica hasn't really had guests on their stuff. Maiden hasn't really had guests on their things. However, I think to be able to branch off separately and do these cool guest things with myself has been really cool. I think we already set it up this morning. Myself, Floor from Nightwish, and Hannes from Sabaton. I think that'd be a really cool thing. And then Deadmau5 and I are going to be working on something soon. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. Actually, wait, Sal brought it up. That's right. Toy was on one of our songs. So yeah, that was one of the super, super rare occurrences that we had a guest. It's true. Yeah, that's. I think if it's something like very random and very improvised and that makes a lot of sense, if we see it, we will. But I don't feel like we're that kind of band. Like, I feel like right now we're definitely seeing peak of bands having guests right now. Okay. So it's gotta make sense for us. Okay,
then that's perfect. So talking about side projects, after 11 years, we are craving some Ibaraki news. Your black metal project with Ishan. So you changed the name to the Trivium mascot because we're expecting Japanese vibes on it and maybe a little bit folk about it. And also the lyrics remind me. What else you can tell us about this new project, and when you will drop your first single?
Yep, it's totally shifted to, it's basically 100% Japanese themed. Okay. Not all of the songs are retellings. Some of them are that style that I like to tell my own story of its own thing that doesn't necessarily exist, and some of them are retellings of ancient stories. It was really, we had the Mrityu stuff almost done. It was like 10 years in, and I could not write any lyrics. I couldn't figure anything out. I mentioned that to Ishan. And I said to him, I wish I was Scandinavian so I could write about Scandinavian folklore. And he's like, that's been done. He's like, what hasn't been done? You tapping into your Japanese side. So when I decided to do that, the lyrics came out instantly. So it's been 11, 12 years that I've been working on it. It'll come out, I think, hopefully first or second quarter of next year. So we should release a video, hopefully first quarter of next year. Okay, perfect. But yeah, it's crazy to think no one's heard that. So no one knows at all what that sounds like. It sounds nothing like Trivium, which is great. I think it shouldn't sound anything like Trivium, or I shouldn't really do it. So people are gonna be very, very pleased with it. John Paul Douglas and I are back together for doing all the artwork again. Nice. He's the one that did all the Silence the Snow stuff, all the In Wave stuff. So he did the cover, the music videos. John Deeb did the band photos, or the solo photos, because it's just me essentially in that band. But Alex played drums,
Nice.
Ishan produced. Ishan co-wrote 2 of the songs. He did all the orchestrations like he did with Trivium. I do all rhythm guitar, all lead, most lead guitar. We've got a couple special guests.
Okay.
Ishan Nergal, Paulo plays a bass solo, Corey plays a guitar solo, Ishan plays a couple guitar solos, and then we've got one more vocalist guest that I won't announce till we announce the record.
Okay, perfect. So now talking a little bit about social media. I think that Trivium has the most amazing and healthiest fan base I've ever seen.
I agree.
And yeah, and also all of you interact with your fans, and you're always showing new up and coming metal bands. So what do you think is Matt Heafy's purpose as an influencer? And do you even consider yourself as an influencer?
I guess by default I would be because of what I do. And I think that a lot of times influencers aren't necessarily influencers because by definition you should be influencing something. And I'm glad that I am one that is there to influence, because I do feel like myself and the rest of my band members are all good influences. So I believe my purpose is just to make people feel good. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Like, that's all I ever want to do with my music. It's all I want to do with my channel. And I believe I'm succeeding for the most part. So it is nice to see that stuff happening. It is nice that I'm able to make people feel good. And that's all we ever really want to do. And if people want to go further than that and be like, all right, I want to get into things that Matt or Paulo or Corey or Alex are into, then they can see what our side things that we're into and hopefully check those out. So I'm glad that people do look up to us as a band, because I think there are a lot of bands out there that are like, I don't want that responsibility, or some bands that are bad influences on their young fans. And I'm very happy that we will never be that. Yes. I mean, I was an idiot in my late teens, but who wasn't an idiot in their late teens? And I feel like if you weren't, then it might happen to you later in life. So I was glad that I was able to kind of get that over with and now be a good influence to people that may want it. And for those who just want to listen to our music and don't care what we're saying or what we're into, we can also be that. But I hope people always want to dig a little further.
So you also are a foodie. I have like a long list of restaurants I want to visit because of you.
Yeah, I've got places in every single city, country, everything. But you were talking about collabs earlier, and actually, you being in Mexico made me remember Rodrigo y Gabriela is one of my favorite artists of all time, and actually, they're a big influence on Ibaraki, which is kind of crazy to think. Like musically, they inspired a lot of that, even though that's very different worlds. I remember speaking to Rodrigo about doing something together, and we said yes, but that was like 10 years ago. Okay. So that's something I need to hopefully rekindle and make happen. That'd be really fantastic. I listen to them on a weekly basis. They're always on in the house.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you also got new partnerships and an amazing Twitch career as a musician and a gamer. And I remember I saw you start on this platform on 2017. And it is awesome how have you grown till now, because engaging with fans and other streamers, showing that charisma that always represents you, and you're making like more new friends. Well, what would you like to thank to this platform and to video games?
Sorry, my kid was saying hi. Yeah, I love it. It's been really amazing. It's been really amazing to be able to like. I got into this wanting to give back more to our supporters, the people that allow us to do what we do. And that was really the whole idea with, hey, let's hang out and see the behind the scenes work that it takes to do what I do. But it has been amazing to see it blossom into something that can help support my family and help keep the lights on. But it also is something that helps the people that are here. I talked to so many people that over the last 18 months, they were saying how that they were alone the whole time, and they don't know how they would have fared if they didn't have the channel and the community, all the amazing friends and new friends that they've made. And I really love to see that. The amazing companies that have helped sustain this channel have been awesome. 3N2, Fishman, Asus, Astro, Elgato. I never thought that I'd be able to have partners like that to help me do this whole thing. And G Fuel, it's really amazing. I'm very, very thankful, and I'm glad to see that this has been, at the base level, a source of entertainment for people, but at the higher level, something that makes them genuinely feel good about their day, or something that they can look forward to, or something they can have fun with.
Yeah, that's amazing. I personally have most of my best friends are thanks to this platform, and also because of Trivium music in general. That's awesome. I think that's so awesome.
That's like one of my favorite things. Well, like to have that where people can get to meet and be friends and lifelong friends and all these things happen, but then to also maybe hopefully someday inspire people. So, you know, like I've been talking about Malevolence a lot. That goes back to an earlier question of you mentioning me mentioning other bands, but the fact that, you know, I became a fan of that band and then found out that they wanted to start making music because of Ascendancy. Like that's another one of the biggest gifts to me, to see that happen, to find out that someone wanted to make music and then is end up making music that's you know, doing well. I love to see that.
Yeah, totally. So talking about touring again, how do you feel about your return to Chile and Brazil after 10 long years? Are you planning to add more shows in Latin America? Because being from Mexico, I can tell you that we are eager to see Trivium in our country again.
I hope so. I mean, South America, Latin America are some of the greatest places we've ever toured. I mean, still some of the greatest shows of our career were specifically Mexico and Argentina and Brazil. Those were just absurdly good. But what's amazing is that a lot of these are not fests. So we'll be able to play gigantic shows in front of the maximum amount of people. I know that we're looking to, I don't know if a Mexico date is on that one yet, but we're looking to make sure we've got a Mexico date on there soon. So we've got about a year to book that stuff. So there will be some more shows, but because we're doing this festival, there's usually proximity clauses. Like we can't do multiple shows in the same city because of the Not Fest shows there, but it will be very good and it'll help us for the future. If we do Not Fest, then the next time we come back, we do more headliners.
Yeah, it could be so amazing to see you playing for the first time in Guadalajara. Is the city I live. Is the city of tequila.
Oh, dang.
And I owe you your mezcal. I remember that.
Yes, I love mezcal. I love it. Like Mexico and Mexican cuisine and Mexican music and Mexican art are some of my favorite things in the planet. The only food I ever will make anymore is Mexican food. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. I think I kind of am. I do own a tortilla press, which is something that a lot of my Mexican friends in America do not own. So that's like, I legitimately make it with the masa and everything. So I love it there. I wish we could do an extensive Mexico tour. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that will be amazing, and see each other. And I can take you to some places and the crew.
That'd be awesome.
To try some typical candies and also great food and tacos.
Awesome. And we just rewatched Coco this weekend as well. Like, you know, that allows us to transport ourselves. I'm not sure how accurate that movie is
No, it's really cool. It makes me cry every time I see it because it reminds me of my grandmother. So.
Yep. That Pixar always makes everyone want to cry all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yes.
So to finish this interview, amigo, what are your next goals in your life as a musician and as a person, and also as a gamer?
I used to set the impossibly high goals of like, hey, I want to be a stadium band. I want to be the best, this. Ever since reframing it as I want to be the best Matt Heafy for all the Matt Heafy things, it's made life a lot simpler. So I just want to keep getting better at the things that I love, but and train to be as good as my heroes, but knowing it'll never happen. Like that kind of quote that I'm always saying. But really the focus is just to keep doing the things that I am meant to do and to do them well. And I think once I've reframed it as that, it's made life a little bit less stressful.
Yeah, well, this chat was amazing. Amigo, thanks for having me here.
Awesome.
Thanks to all the Twitch community that are watching us right now. And I hope to see you soon in real life. But meanwhile, I see you on Twitch.
Awesome. Muchas gracias, mi amiga. Hasta luego.
Gracias, amigo. Bye.
Hasta luego. Ciao.